WBZ's Kcal News, Los Angeles.
There's one thing Trump knows how to do, it's leveraging resentment.
President Trump putting a $1 billion target on UCLA's back. His massive settlement demand for claims of anti-Semitism. And 4 immigration raids in 5 days, despite a temporary restraining order. Customs agents say they have no plans of stopping. But we begin with breaking news. A firefighter seriously hurt tonight. He was working the canyon fire near Kcal. His truck crashed and rolled down a steep hillside road. Kcal News assignment editor Mike Rogers is at the desk. And Mike, they had to airlift this firefighter.
Yeah, Rita, they did. They took him to Henry Mayo Hospital, where we know his injuries were very serious after he rolled the truck down the hill. There you see the blue and white truck in your shot. That's from Kern County Fire. We know that tonight. This is the hillside. He rolled down one of them there where the crash happened. Now, LA County Fire Copter 19 was able to come in and help get that person to safety. Now, it's unclear if he was trapped or able to crawl out on his own. Either way, though, you see the fire, the pickup truck there, significantly damaged after it appears to have rolled several times. Now, LA County Fire put him on a backboard and strapped him up, then got him into the awaiting Copter 19, which thankfully didn't have to hoist. They were able to just walk him over there. The helicopter did a one-wheel operation where they were able to just put one of their wheels down. We'll show you the video of the transport to Henry Mayo. That's where they were taking him, and the doctors there were waiting for him. He lands on the helipad there on the roof. They were able to take him out. The good news is when we saw him being transported, and you'll see it here in this video, it does appear that he was conscious and alert. You'll see him be able to move his arms. It does appear that he is talking to the medical professionals there at Henry Mayo, as well as the rescuers who got him down. Now, I do have a call out to Kern County Fire to get an update on his condition and see if they can know exactly what happened. But tonight, they are calling this an incident within an incident, because it was on the fire lines of the canyon fire when this happened. So now their safety teams and crash investigators will try to figure out exactly how he tumbled down that hill, Rita Bay.
Mike, thank you. And developing tonight, all evacuation orders and warnings have been lifted as firefighters gain control of that fire. It's now 28% contained and has burned more than 5,300 acres. Kcal News reporter Lauren Posen is live at Housley Canyon Road in Kcal tonight, where there are questions about how this fire spread so quickly. Lauren.
Well, tonight people are allowed back in their homes and they can bring their animals too, although we haven't seen much of that quite yet. Firefighters are going to continue to work through the night to get a better handle on the containment, and they're telling everyone they're going to stay very on top of this as well, and they want everyone else to do the same. Scorched hillsides, burned tree limbs, and at least 2 structures destroyed as the canyon fire keeps burning into its 2nd day. Tell me what the last 24 hours have been like.
Hell.
Anthony Stump lives at the end of Housley Canyon Road.
This caught us way off guard because we were sitting about a mile up here, and we seen pretty much where it started, and never thought that it would ever make it here.
He decided not to evacuate when the canyon fire broke Thursday afternoon. That started in Ventura County, lake near Piru, and spread into LA County.
15 feet high. I mean, there was some good-sized flames.
But it wasn't just the flames. The heat was just as intense.
One part of my truck, it got so hot, and it melted the passenger mirror.
More than 400 firefighters, 7 helicopters, 3 air tankers, and 45 engines are working to control the flames. So far, they've managed to protect most homes like Rod Myers, but his World War II shed, filled with wood, didn't make it.
If it wasn't for the calm demeanor of the firemen, we would have probably been panicked.
Well, the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Some residents told us they question if brush clearing, or lack of it, played a role in fueling the flames. We checked with LA County Fire to get to the bottom of it. In a statement, they say 5,000 properties were inspected this year. Only 12 were not in compliance and are being dealt with. Also, brush clearance needs to be within 200 feet of structures. Beyond 200 feet, they have no authority. Stump says clearing his brush isn't something to take lightly. In fact, he says it's what saved not only his house, but others near his too.
Our area, we had brush clearing, so that was like a big, savior. Because if that wasn't, even the fire department said, if that wasn't cleared, the houses probably would have been gone.
Now, you know, a lot of people have animals out here, from horses to cows to donkeys, and I think part of the reason why we haven't seen a lot of them return, because we've been driving up and down this road all afternoon long, is because the air quality is still so bad. In fact, they're advising everyone, if you are going to come back here, to try to stay inside as much as possible because that quality is just so bad, all the smoke and all the dust that got in the air here with the fire. Another note is that the fire did burn close to Castaic High School, but it didn't damage the school. School is supposed to start on Monday. No word if that will change depending upon how things go this weekend. Reporting live in Castaic, Lauren Posen, Kcal News.
Lauren, thank you. President Trump is going big tonight in his war on the nation's most prestigious universities. He's recently demanded hundreds of millions in fines from Harvard and Columbia, claiming they allowed anti-Semitism on campus. Tonight, he's demanding UCLA pay $1 billion. Governor Newsom tonight calling it extortion and vowing to fight back. Kcal political reporter Tom Waite is here with another Trump attack on California.
Right, and one of the political experts we've spoken to says this is political theater potentially with very real consequences. We'll get more into that in just a second here. But yeah, President Trump's continued attacks on academic institutions is unprecedented. How he arrived at this billion-dollar figure directed at UCLA is unclear. He says if UCLA doesn't pay, he'll strip hundreds of millions of dollars in already approved federal life-saving research grants from the university. It's been about a year and a half since police dismantled the pro-Palestinian encampment on UCLA's campus, but the fallout continues. The Trump administration wants UCLA to pay out a fine of $1 billion for punishment for allowing it to be set up. Of all the universities Trump has targeted, it would be the largest payout by far.
There's one thing Trump knows how to do, it's leveraging resentment. And if one thing Columbia, UCLA, and some of the other targets have in common is they reject a lot more students than they admit. And so Trump can appeal to the people who have bad feelings toward these institutions. It's not clear how the Trump administration came up with the billion-dollar figure. The demand comes the same week the administration suspended more than $580 million in federal grants, funding used for life-saving research. UCLA cognitive neuroscience PhD student Erin Morrow, who studies memory, worries about the devastating impacts of pulling critical funding.
You probably do know someone that's living with cancer or struggling with Alzheimer's disease or depression, and that's the research that UCLA scientists are doing. And so when those grants are suspended, it has a really severe impact on the ability for that research to continue.
Trump has targeted other top universities like Harvard, Columbia, among dozens of others, demanding large financial settlements over claims administrators did not do enough to curb anti-Semitism. Trump's billion-dollar demand from UCLA is more than double than what he settled for from other top schools. Governor Newsom vowed to fight Trump's demands.
He has threatened us through extortion with $1 billion fine unless we do his bidding. So as long as I'm governor, I will stand tall and push back against that.
UCLA recently agreed to a $6 million settlement with 3 Jewish students and a Jewish professor after they sued the university for civil rights violations, claiming the encampment created fear on campus and blocked access to classrooms and other campus spaces. Even if Trump's latest demand is political theater, it's likely to have real consequences.
When people think about money going to these rich universities, they think it goes to faculty parties pouring sherry. It goes to things like cancer research.
Unlike Harvard and Columbia, which of course are private universities, UCLA is a public university, which means taxpayers may be on the hook to cover some of this. UC President James Milliken said in a statement that the Trump administration's actions are devastating and will impact people nationwide who rely on the university's groundbreaking research. Ruta Bay.
Tom, thank you. Governor Newsom playing host to Texas Democratic lawmakers today. They fled the Lone Star State to prevent a vote on a new congressional map called for by President Trump. The new map would eliminate up to 5 Democratic seats in the House. Newsom calls Trump's plan blatant corruption and says it's a brazen scheme to rig the 2026 midterm elections. Newsom says he will fight fire with fire. In response to Texas's redistricting plan, the governor and California Democrats are planning a special election this fall to redraw California's congressional map and add more Democratic districts.
It wasn't our decision to be here, it's reaction to. We are trying to defend democracy as opposed to see it destroyed district by district.
State Republicans are blasting the plan being laid out by Newsom and California Democrats to blow out the current congressional maps that were drawn by a bipartisan commission more than a decade ago.
I think it's wrong for any state. Again, California's not Texas because we have this system in place, and the California voters were smart, and they said we want nonpartisan panels to draw these lines in the open.
Democrats say if they go forward with their plan, the new California congressional maps would be drawn up by Democrats and then made public for voters to approve or reject in a special election this November. 3 years and still no ceasefire. President Trump now planning to negotiate for peace in Ukraine on U.S. soil.